Damn, YouTube, back at it again with another TEW video. We are in week 2 of December. We have this week of Impact and then next week, and we're on to Final Resolution. Let's go ahead and get into these incidents. Real quick though, I know I've botched a couple times in the past videos because I just realized Final Resolution is this next pay-per-view, not Genesis, and I've been saying Genesis because I remember for the longest time, I believe TNA had Genesis in December and Final Resolution in January, and they finally switched it up around this time period. So I always got confused on that. But, yeah, so they bonded backstage having... Oh, they like playing with Legos. I mean, whatever's your thing, D'Lo Brown and Rob Terry, whatever's your thing. But yeah, so my mistake, I know I did it in the video I uploaded yesterday, which was the John Moxley promo video. I had him say that he knows that a pay-per-view called Genesis is coming up. I meant to say Final Resolution. Sorry about that. Final Resolution's coming up, not Genesis. So yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and get into the show. Let's make a cut here. Alright, let's go ahead and get right back into the show now. We kick things... Ooh, 71C+. Eh. We kick things off with just a video recap, showing off what happened at the end of Impact last week, featuring AJ Styles, Mr. Anderson, and Desmond Wolfe. And then, like, near the very end, we hear the announcers, Mike Tenay and Taz, announce, or not really announce, but just reiterate the fact that the main event is Mr. Anderson versus AJ Styles in a unsanctioned match. We then go into an X Division-esque match. I put Daniels in here, gave Daniels some momentum, defeating the X Division champion, the Amazing Red. Did a 77B. I expected this. They have pretty good chemistry, so that's really good. We then have Daniels grab a mic and basically point at Don West, who, if you don't know, is the manager of the Amazing Red at the moment. Daniels points to the Amazing Red and goes, "I beat you, Don. This man does not need to be representing the X Division. You've been watching the X Division for how many years now? This is not a man that needs to represent the X Division and what the champion is. I just beat your champion. Don, find a new champion." And he throws the mic down. Basically, he's just disgruntled at this point. He didn't win the world title. He's still pissed about losing to Samoa Joe. It's just Daniels is having a tough time right now. And Don West is just like, what do you mean he's a champion? And Red's just kind of like selling the Angel's wings still. So yeah, 79B. We then go backstage where Beer Money's being interviewed by Christy Hemme, and they're interviewed about the Kings of Wrestling, and then they're also asked about Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, who they will be facing tonight in the main, not the main event, but the co-main event. And they get a 73B minus. Not really much to ask for from that. They did really good at improvising, so that's good. Just something awesome. Kong versus Taylor Wilde. Kong wins. Just something quick for Kong to give her some momentum, and they don't click, so that's wonderful. Let's see, Bobby Lashley and Christy Hemme. Bobby Lashley gets interviewed by Hemme. He did a 73B minus. I'm very impressed with that. Hemme asks Lashley about Scott Steiner. Lashley's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get that man. I'm gonna get him," and then yada yada yada. Pretty much just trying to advance the storyline. I want to get it over as quick as possible. I really don't like the storyline that happened in real life with these two, but I didn't do it at the last pay-per-view. Wanted to do it this pay-per-view before we go into 2010. We then see Samoa Joe walking backstage, and a graphic says, or the announcers say that he's up next. We then go into a match featuring two main eventers that I never use. Well, Joe, but I never use Matt Morgan, so I decided to put him in a match with Joe. Joe beats Morgan with the Coquina Clutch, 69C+. Joe had an in-ring performance of 89, not really shocking. Morgan had a 75, so that's good to know. And then we have... Oh, wow. That's great. I've never had this happen for me before, but Joe debuted a new spot that got great heel heat. His psychology will be helped by being able to use it as a go-to spot in the future. That's cool. Alright, so what happens here in this segment, Sting comes down to the ring, and grabs a microphone and is basically calling out John Moxley for what happened last week, and was like, "Kid, I want you to get out here and make yourself a name. I like the fact that you came out and did what you did. I like the way that you're trying to get a contract. I like the way that you're trying to get yourself known. But you don't do it to the Stinger. Get out here now." And throws the mic down. And all of a sudden on the Titantron we see a countdown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then there's a pause. And all of a sudden, 10. da 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 da, or whatever his theme song is currently. And then we basically just repackaged Sean Spears into Ty Dillinger as he currently is. And Dillinger comes out with a microphone and says that he is here to change the landscape of TNA, much like Jon Moxley is. But he is a perfect 10, and he doesn't need to keep his nose out of the spotlight, unlike John. So he's here to make himself a name, as Sting said. So he throws the mic down and comes down. Uh, I like Dillinger, like I said before. I think it was last week we booked him, or maybe the week beforehand. But I like Dillinger, and this is going to give him something so I can give a further test of how decently in ring, if we build him up, he could be. Did a 58C, and then this did a 68C, so C plus, so that's good. In ring performance at 51, I understand that. It brought the fans back down a little. Obviously, Sting defeats Dillinger. This just was a way to advance the Jon Moxley Sting feud without having John show up on the show, because I want to give that the aura of basically, oh, when's he going to show up? When's he going to show up? And this just helps that motto. So that did good. We then go to basically, this isn't anything like on the show. It was like it was filmed beforehand, but they aired it on the show. It's one of those segments where they sit in the chairs in the ring, like the lights are dimmed, and Desmond Wolfe basically gets interviewed by Mike Tenay, asking him why he decided to debut the way he did in TNA by taking out Kurt Angle, and now why he going after AJ Styles. Desmond's basically like, well, you see, it's very simple. AJ Styles is the world champion. I'm the best wrestler in the world. As cheesy as that sounds, because everyone thinks that they're the best in the world, I actually am. So come Final Resolution, I will show AJ Styles, I will show TNA Wrestling that I am what I say I am. And I will prove without a shadow of a doubt that whenever I raise the title high above my head and represent this company, we will not be a laugh anymore going into 2010. And then he stands up, thanks Tenay for his time, and then throws his glasses back on, goes to leave, turns and slaps Tenay in the face. I said TNA. Slaps Tenay in the face, and then we go out of the video at the commentary booth, and Tenay's just being mad about getting slapped. And Taz is like, he had no right to do that, basically just giving Desmond a little heel heat, since he wasn't featured that much on the show outside of this. We then go into our co-main event. That did not do well. And I didn't really expect it to do well, because I tried something new with going with the, what was it called? I think it's the chaotic match. Yeah, no, the car crash match aim. So they all had 95, 95, 90, 94. Oh my god, that could have done so good if I didn't use the car crash. Alright, good to know. A 63C. Basically, Beer Money just defeats Motor City. It gives Beer Money some momentum going into the tag title match with Kings of Wrestling. Speaking of, after the match, Kings of Wrestling come out on stage, and they have a stare down from the stage towards the ring with Beer Money, but Beer Money grabs the microphones and says, if you guys want to fight, you guys come down to the ring right now. They go to step forward, and they stop, and Hero just raises his hand, shakes his finger, says, no, 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 no. We do it on our terms. And they turn around, and they leave. So that ends that segment. We then go into the main event, AJ Styles versus Mr. Anderson in an unsanctioned match. This match ended in a double disqualification-esque finish. I don't know why it said that. Basically, the way I envision this match ending is they're just brawling, both punching each other up the ramp. They're all over on the stage. AJ kicks Anderson in the gut, goes to lift him up for the Styles Clash. But all of a sudden, Desmond Wolfe comes out from the back, boom, clubs both of them from behind, just starts knocking both of them down, pushes both of them off the stage. They go through tables, and then that basically ends the match, because neither one of them can compete. Desmond standing on the stage, both of the competitors are on the table through tables, and then Desmond Wolfe, AJ Styles, and Mr. Anderson. Desmond's just standing tall over them to end the show. So we end the show with a 79B. Increased our popularity in 27 regions. So that's good. Alright, that's pretty much all for this week. So yeah, hit the like button if you guys liked it. Subscribe if you're new. Keep all that same motto. We know this is a quick video, but take it easy, guys.